Alright, next page. Use the information to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So, slope-intercept form, we need a slope, we need a y-intercept. We can typically work to the slope if we're given 2 points. And then if we're given as anything, we can plug it into slope-intercept form and solve for our y-intercept. That's what we have to do for 41. We're given our slope 3/4, and then we're given this point. So what we know of our equation right now, y equals 3/4 x plus b. Since we're given the point, we can plug in x and y where they go. So -5 equals 3/4 x. Sorry, not x, because we know x is 12 plus b. 3 times 12 is 36, divided by 4 is 9. So -5 equals 9 plus b. Solve for b all the way. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, and I find b to be -14. So with my b, my slope, I can write my equation as y equals 3/4 x minus 14. 42 goes to the point, -411 and -1,5. So I'm going to have to find the slope here using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In this case it's plus because minus a negative. So 5 minus 11 is -6. -1 plus 4 is 3. -6 divided by 3 is -2. So my slope is -2. Okay, I'm going to use this point just like we did in the last problem. So 5 equals -2 times -1 plus b. So 5 equals 2 plus b. Subtract 2 from both sides. B must be 3. Here are my 2 pieces of information. Y equals -2x plus 3. Alright, 43 says parallel to 2x minus 8y equals 24, so giving us the slope in another way. Parallel means it has the same slope as this. We need to find the slope of this line. Do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. -8y equals -2x plus 24. And once I get y by itself, it'll be in slope-intercept form, and I'll know the slope. So y equals, this will be a positive 1/4 x minus 3. The thing that we really care about here is our slope, 1/4. So, slope of our old line was 1/4. Write that down. It's parallel, it'll be the same. So here it says it goes to the point -8, 1. So now we're going to plug in those values. 1 for y, 1/4 x is -8 plus b. So 1/4 times -8 is -2 plus b is 1. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I find that b is 3. So my slope is 1/4. Y equals 1/4 x plus 3. Number 44 says has an x-intercept of 3 and a y-intercept of -4. Which is kind of tricky because it feels like we don't have enough information. We do have our y-intercept of -4, but we're going to actually have to use both of these to find our slope. Okay, remember that our x-intercept has coordinates of 3, 0, and our y-intercept has coordinates of 0, -4. So now we can use this to find slope. y2, -4, minus y1, 0, over x2, 0, minus 3. So we have -4 over -3. We'll want to simplify that and make it positive. So our slope is 4/3. Our y-intercept is -4. We have an equation. Y equals 4/3 x minus 4. Okay, now we're really looking at the same, like 42 and 45 are the same type of problems. We're given points. We need to find the slope and then plug it into the equation. Doesn't matter which points you choose here. I'm just going to choose these first two. Smaller numbers. So I'm going to do 6 minus 4 over -2 minus -6 or plus 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. -2 plus 6 is 4. That simplifies to 1/2. So our slope is 1/2. I'm going to now plug in Why not? I'm going to plug in 4, 9 into my equation because they're both positive. Less chance of me making a mistake. So 9 equals 1/2 x, which is 4, plus b. So that's 2. And so I find that b is 7. So my b is 7, my slope is 1/2, my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 7. '46, we want to write the equation of a line that's perpendicular to x plus 3, y equals 11, and goes to the point 27. Again, this is very similar to number 43, other than instead of using parallel lines, we're using perpendicular. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. But before we get to that, we need to find out what the slope of this line is. Let's get y by itself. We're going to subtract x from both sides, and that leaves us with 3y equals 11 minus x, or negative x plus 11. Do that, it looks more like slope-intercept form. Divide both sides by 3, and we get y equals negative 1/3 x plus 11/3. Okay. Remember, the part that we really care about is this. The slope of our original line was negative 1/3. So the slope of our new line has to be its opposite reciprocal. Remember, opposite makes it positive. Reciprocal flips the numerator and the denominator. So our new slope is 3, positive 3. Okay, it goes to the point 27. Okay, and so we're going to plug this into the equation. 7 equals 3 times 2 plus b. 7 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides. We find that b is 1. So our two pieces of information, our slope and our y-intercept, y equals 3x plus 1. Finally, 47. It's a little bit different than the rest of these, in the sense that it's not asking you to write the equation of a line. It says use function p of n equals absolute value of 2n plus 3 minus 6 to find the range with a domain of negative 4, 0, 5. Remember that range is really, we can think of it as a synonym for y, and the domain, you can think of it as a synonym for x. And so it basically says, hey, find the y when x is negative 4, 0, 5. Okay? Or find the output when the input is these numbers. And so we just plug these numbers into the equation a few times. So 2 times negative 4 plus 3 minus 6. So that'll give us negative 8 plus 3, which is negative 5. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. Okay, we'll do the same thing with 0. That'll give us 3 minus 6, which is negative 3. And then we'll do the same thing with 5. Absolute value of 2 times 5 plus 3 minus 6. So that's giving us 10 plus 3, which is 13. 13 minus 6, which is 7. Keep it brackets, so this is our set of ranges corresponding with the given domains.